Alrighty, what up, Sid? Live from Columbus, OH. It's the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. And I'm Coach Steve Money. And if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com. And that slash coach calendly.com / coach Steve Money, and that link is in the ticker below, also in the video description. And for my other financial content, just have to scroll down on the main page and get to the answering your financial questions. I still need to change the order of this. Answering your financial questions. That was a previous weekend stream that I did. That's on hiatus right now while I'm able to do an after show every single weekday. So I'm opting to do that instead of do 2 or 3 after shows and then 2 weekend shows. But we'll see how it goes. Might have to get a regular job at some point. That could happen. And music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. As soon as I can sing the 12th one better, that one will be in there. Written by Sid. Fabulous words. I just cannot sing it well. All right, let's get into it. Market report. And we got the market back up today after some downtime. Let's check the S&P 500. Last 5 days, so it's down over the last 5 days, but up over the last month. So that's I mean, this looks kind of like the Serpent Mound in Ohio. I haven't been to that. I should probably go see that since that's in the state that I'm in. Why would what does that say? 49%, and that says 39. Is that the after? Oh no! Oh, this is because I changed the number of the days. I changed that to a month. Okay, so that makes sense on that. But oh, hey, look, Nasdaq up higher than the S&P 500 again, and the only thing down, Dow Jones, down 0.13%, and so it will come back. So I don't know if this is back up to a high for the. Nope, not back up to a high for the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ did some, again, we got that hump there, right there. Around from the starting, going up from the election day, and then chilling, and then coming back up today. So that's the dealio on that. What's the rest of the planet doing? Mostly up in Europe, mostly down in Asia. The euros up against the US dollar, Japanese yen up against the US dollar, the British pound, love, up over the US dollar, and the Canadian dollar up over the US dollar, and the Australian dollarmite making a clean sweep above the US dollar. So futures are tomorrow looking good here, except for the Dow. And so see how that works out. Earnings calendar. That would be tomorrow, the Walmart 20th, the NVIDIA, and PDD Holdings on 21st. I don't know who that is. And for some reason, I just thought of the temperature, and what is it? It's 60 degrees. It was warmer than that earlier. I went outside without a jacket on, short sleeves. So, which is rare in Ohio on a November 18. But the most followed single stocks on the Google, the only one down, the Amazon, 0.45%. And of course, as usual, Tesla, not just 1% up or down, not just 2% or even 3% up or down. It tends to be very, very volatile. That's not what I wanted to hit there. I wanted to hit that phrasing so that we could see what it looks like. And so that's not the high, is it? No, the high is way back here. So still not that far off though, but trying to come back a little bit for the Tesla. After hours down a little bit, but it's the way it goes. Again, we don't do single stocks, too much risk. Need to be more diversified than that. Diversified than that. And so you buy mutual funds, and if it's retirement, you do the managed mutual funds, because trust me, you can make more than the index with managed funds, even after you subtract the higher expense ratio. Let's see. Supermicro came back up today. We've been talking about them a lot, and they've just been going down, but back up almost 16% today. Trump Media wants to buy crypto trading platform Backed, sending shares soaring. All right. That's interesting. I've never heard of that crypto trading platform, but that's probably not surprising. Let's see anything else. Spirit Airlines files for bankruptcy. Alrighty. Black Friday coming up soon. That would be on the 29th, late Thanksgiving this year, on the 28th. I believe that was because it was a leap year this year. Accused of violating worker rights, SpaceX and Amazon go after labor board. Well, if the labor board goes after people, they shouldn't be surprised that companies are going to fight back. After Hertz workers abandon their location, customers show up and take whatever rental cars they want. Fun times. I mean, that was fun to figure out for them. Did they just leave the box with all the car keys in there? That's crazy. Let's see. I want to see where that was. Because, I feel like for me, it's going to be maybe Florida. No. Dozens of customers, including the mayor of Denver, were left clueless after showing up to a deserted Hertz in New York. Well, speaking of places where people are nutty, that would certainly be one of them. Don't try to throw an ad on me. Talk about Supermicro already. And the Tesla, of course. All right, so that's going to do it for the market report. Let's get into some questions. What up, HB? Someone has stock in Robinhood. What is your recommendation? Sell that crap? Yeah. Well, Robinhood, unless they're invested in the company themselves, if they just have money invested on that platform, that's kind of no different than being have it invested with Fidelity or any of the other brokerage. It's just another brokerage, but they're like more of like a trendy type, a newer one. And newer doesn't necessarily mean better, and so I wouldn't advise that over one of the more traditional ones. But I believe they have like the was it $250,000 or whatever insurance if your money gets stolen, that kind of thing. So, I mean, as long as it's in, good, if it's your retirement, which that shouldn't. I don't know if you can do a Roth IRA on. I guess you can if it's a full-fledged brokerage. I guess you can do that on the Robinhood. You are welcome, HB. It'd be Heather Beth, ladies and gentlemen. Confident Vacation 418. Did I make a mistake? It's a mistake. Minute work. 80s, I think, Hey all, hi guys, 23 man in baby step 2 with about 8K in student loans and no other debts. About 4 months ago, I realized the margin I would be able to create by moving in with my grandparents. And that is not something Mr. Ramsey advises for 23-year-olds, for adults. Being gazelle intense, I've been able to pay about $1,200 per month towards my student loan since I have no rent. So if you don't have any rent, where's the rest of your money going? So a lot of people like that would do something like this. They tend to spend more money in other ways, I would think. I don't know that this person is confident vacation, and obviously there's no vacation in baby step 2. There's no travel. At this pace of money, I'm on track to finish baby step 2 in May 2025 and baby step 3 in August 2025. Okay, between my grandpa's racist bursts of rage, okay, and my overbearing grandma, I've been going a little crazy living with them. Well, yeah, that's why you should live with them. I still love them and forever grateful for the opportunity that they have given me, but have debated moving out recently. That is what Mr. Ramsey would advise. However, the idea of finishing baby step 2 in May 2025 versus, and again, this is going to go back to your personal spending, I think, versus May 2027, so 2 years, but it's possibly because you're in that situation. That's the same thing why Dave doesn't advise to do debt consolidation loans or moving debt from here to here to here for whatever reason. Just advises you to pay it off instead of moving it around like a shell game, because it makes you think you've done something when you haven't done anything. And right now you're taking the easy way to get it paid off, which, you can do whatever you want to. You don't have to even ask, Reddit's opinion of it. You don't even have to ask Dave Ramsey's opinion of it. You can just do it. But it sounds like you're not happy there, and you've been thinking about it. And you just, in any decision, you just got to weigh the pros and the cons, make a pro and con list, as it were. Let's see, that has me debating if I should just tough it out and stay, or should I stay, or should I go now? Or should I put a pause on paying off my loans, move out, then resume? What would you do in my situation? Thanks to all. I probably wouldn't be living with grandparents anyway to begin with. But I would try to rectify that situation as soon as I could. And yeah, so I mean, it doesn't sound like, I mean, it just makes it take longer. But again, then the onus is on you to make it not take longer. And if you're only working 40 hours, then guess what? You work more than 40 hours. Work 60 hours. Get a part-time job. Do some side hustles. And keep looking at that budget and crossing stuff off of it, because it's not a need. A lot of people think they have needs, but they're not needs. They just want them. So, mistake? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Especially if you get out in the world and you can't function because you're used to being babied by not having rent. So, we'll see. Environmental 21880, when to refinance? Well, you would do that when it makes sense, because refinancing is not free. Even if you're going to a lower interest rate, it's still going to put you further in debt, because they add it to the mortgage amount. So they put that at the end of that. They just tack it on there. And so you're going to be paying more interest than you have been, at least for the time being, depending on how much the previous interest rate was. So you're going to be paying longer because you have more debt. Sorry if this has been asked. I already answered it. I feel like for me, the last 5 years has been unprecedented times. No. Well, I mean, with the housing, I mean, there's been other times where there was a housing boom and a housing bubble and all that stuff. Maybe not exactly the same way. I, 32 female, bought a started house. I hope it was finished. I hope it wasn't just started. She meant starter. With my husband in April of 2019, pre-pandy. Locked in 4% 30-year. And let me ask you this, kids. Is 30-year mortgage the Ramsey advice? No, it's not. 15 years and your mortgage payment needs to be 25% of your take-home pay. If it's not, guess what? Too much house. If you have to get a 30-year mortgage to be able to afford the payment, guess what? Too much house. Then the pandy happened. We know it. In 21, we refied to 2.75, 15-year, after completely renovating the house. And you don't do that either. You don't completely renovate the freaking house. I know that was a rare occurrence. What? Renovating the freaking house? We sold the house last year for our forever home. Yeah, then why did you freaking renovate the house? We locked in 6.9%, which was a hit in the gut after those rates. You're the one that moved and needed a forever home. You did that to yourself. So congratulations. This is called reaping what you sow. I know eventually they'll come down. Maybe. But at what point should we think about refinancing? Again, you don't do it just to do it, and it's not always a good idea to do it. You do it when the break-even time, the break-even point will happen fast. So, like within a year. So how it works, like I said, you do get the lower interest rate, theoretically, if a lower interest rate is offered. And then you would, you have to calculate how much, until you save the amount of money in paid interest, you save a little bit on interest each month, however much lower. And that's why you don't do it for a freaking 1/4%. You would not refinance for that. So you want it to be a significant move, and then you end up saving more money, and then eventually it will break even with what you're being charged for the refinance. You know, whatever fees they have. Like they do on all loans. Stackums. Z on it. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And when you do 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, but still prioritized in that 4, 5, 6 order. So you're still working with your debt snowball. Let's take a look at the 4, 5, and 6. You're still working with your debt snowball, except it's not going to debt anymore. It didn't go to debt in step 3 either. It went to you, come back to you, which is much better than it going off to debt. So definitely approved. But step 4, 5, and 6. So with your extra money every month, that's what you're using to finish these baby steps, even though you're not in the gazelle area of step 1, 2, and 3 any longer. And step 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time, and you do not move on until you complete one of those. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time, but you do them in order. So you have, say, $1,000 extra each month. The first part of that $1,000 goes to investing. Make sure you're doing 15% of your household gross income into retirement. And so that goes first. And if you don't have anything left over, then you're not putting anything to kid college. If you don't have any kids or you decided not to help them, then you can just skip step 5. But like I said, if you are using all of your extra, there's a problem. You probably need to look at your budget again. But to use all of that $1,000, then you don't have anything else to put to 5 and 6. And so that's when you would need to look at your budget and try to find other ways so that you can start addressing kid college if necessary. And of course, paying that house early if you have one even. So that is how to do that. What would you budget for new car with this scenario? Okay. And so you would not buy a new car unless you are a millionaire. Which means, definition of millionaire is that you have $1 million net worth. And so that's a nay. No debt, 150K retirement, 26K investments. You shouldn't have extra investments while you still need to be doing steps 5 and 6. They're very young kids. I mean, you can put it off for a little while. You could also just start putting a little bit into their 529 or ESA plans for retirement, just a little bit, and then you're putting extra on the house still. So by you putting 26K in investments, you're debt leveraging the house still, because you're doing it wrong basically. 25K emergency fund, 50K cash on hand. And again, it doesn't say to do that anywhere. Let's see, invest 15% of your household income into retirement. It does not say have an extra brokerage account and save up. How much is it? $50,000 in cash. It does not say that anywhere. It does not say to save extra money beyond the 3 to 6 months emergency fund. So definitely have the 6-month emergency fund, especially if you have a mortgage. I would definitely advise 6 over 3, no matter how comfortable you are with 3. And you probably might be very comfortable with 3 because you have 50K for no reason. And so that's dumb to do that while you still have baby steps to take care of. Another 10K plus coming in for a car I'll sell. Why do you need to sell a car that you can sell for $10,000? Why do you need a new car? What's up with that? See, this is when I challenge people on that. Why? Why do that? How much would I spend on a better car? None. Why? What is wrong with the $10,000 car? I want to upgrade my car. I don't give a crap. I want to upgrade my car, but feels irresponsible because of the way I've had to be frugal over the years. Good, it should. It should show you the difference between what you're doing and that. Now, that's not like going out to eat once a month or something like that. You trying to upgrade car when you have a perfectly working $10,000, something worth $10,000 already, and you need a more expensive car than that. Why? We just finished paying off $350K worth of debt storm over the last 3 years and have been enjoying no debt since. You've also been enjoying doing it wrong by keeping this cash on hand and investing extra. You're doing it wrong. So if you actually needed a car, or even if you somehow decide to do that, and I don't know, hey, got a great idea, talk to your spouse about it as well. That would be fabulous. But you could have put that money towards the car. But again, unless you're a millionaire, there's no new cars. Too much depreciation. I finally got my own car, a well-maintained but older enthusiast vehicle as a chore car as I work from home. Yeah, so you don't even need it. Bought it cash for $12K. Great. What's wrong with it? Nothing wrong with it. About a year in, I don't care for my car. I don't give a crap. It's loud, wah, rugged, wah. It doesn't make me feel proud driving it, wah. It's supposed to get you from A to B. You're not supposed to feel pride driving it. Dumb. My thinking was it won't get much use. Then why freaking buy it? On the baby steps, idea is to sell things you aren't using regularly anyway. So you don't need it. This is just a you want thing, which that means it's a toy. It's not for transportation, which is in one of the 4 walls. That's one of the 4 walls. And 4 walls, you take care of that in baby step 0. Many, many facets of baby step 0, and that's just one of them. So, a little whining here. It's loud, rugged, and doesn't make me feel proud driving it. Who cares? You, apparently. My thinking was it won't get much use, so it's not too important to love it. Right, it's not. No debt, approaching 20% equity on our home. Oh, you don't even have, you're still paying PMI too. You're doing it wrong, idiot. 50K in cash and investing extra. You're doing it wrong. So you're paying the PMI because you want to have extra. What's the extra 50K? Was that savings for a car and you just didn't call it that before? Dumb. Partner has a comfortable modern SUV. That doesn't matter to you. That's got nothing to do with you. The partner's not trying to trade in a perfectly good car for no reason. How much would you spend on a car? Nothing if the one I had was worth $10,000 and it worked fine. Dumb. I mean, I'm the absolute worst person to talk about this. Dave likes cars. So, I mean, but I still think he would give you the same answer. There's no need to do that. And also, why are you trying to ask anybody for advice, whether it be Reddit or Dave Ramsey? You're not doing the baby steps. You're doing whatever the crap you want to do, which is fine, but do it. You don't have to run it by anybody at all. I do appreciate the content, though. Thank you so very much. Oh, pride in a payout vehicle. That's right, Sid. Why don't you pride? HB said I'm the best. He's correct about that. So debt to his part lady says that's the biggest mistake parents make, not charging rent when their adult kids live with them. Yeah, I mean, you know, I understand the draw of it. You know, and being on your parents' insurance until you're 27. I understand the draw of it, sure, because it's more money for you. But also, if you're just blowing even half of that money, that's ridiculous. And that doesn't help you. And then also, so if you're spoiled like that for a long time and then you finally do move out, then you can't handle the world because you haven't had to before. And then you're even more likely to go over to the dark side. Agree. HB said so many people knock it, but to be honest, HB was being honest. I feel like for me it builds character and teaches responsibility. What up, Aslan? If something is still working well, it would be difficult for Aslan to buy a replacement. Exactly. It's like, you know, I mean, I kind of get it if you love cars, but again, I mean, that person is just doing everything wrong. What up, Margs? How's life and stuff? Good to see you. This is a blast from the past. Oh, this one $3.99 all day. Rolling car payments into mortgage question. That's a nay. Again, you're not rolling it into another loan. You're not consolidating it. You're not moving it to somewhere else, even if it's lower interest. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're just paying the car payment off as fast as possible. And then after that, any other non-mortgage debt. And then after that, step 4. And then after that, you're doing step 5 if it's applicable. And then step 6. With that mortgage, you're paying that off early. Let's see. My issue. Sports Illustrated. No. My issue, I have 2 high car payments due to lack of down payment. Sell one of them. Hey, I got a great idea. Let's sell both of them. Yay. Sell both of them and buy one beater. One of my children is now out of daycare, so I have been throwing all of that extra money at my car payment. Sell it. Still, sell both of them. I will continue doing this until March. You said my car payment. You said you got 2 high car payments. What do you mean at my car payment? Illogical, Captain. I will continue doing this until March 2025, and my car will be paid off. Dude, that's a long time. Not advised. What it would be advised would be for you to move down in car, and that way you can get further on the baby steps. Much more important than having a car you're proud of. Next, I would like to roll my car payment and extra daycare money into my wife's car payment. Roll your car. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, that's kind of debt snowballing, what you're doing there. And so, I mean, if you gotta, I wouldn't recommend keeping both those cars. I would sell one of them at least, and probably yours. I calculated that by doing that, should be done by paying our car off by June of 2026. By June 2026, my car, my wife's car, and my last child will all be out of daycare, meaning I will have about $2,000 extra each month. At this point, do I put it towards mortgage, or do I try, and it's not try and, it's try to, put some aside for a savings on a future new car? That's a no, but again, we're not trying to do the Dave advice here, apparently. That was my main problem the first time around, really. Boom. Where is that? That was my main problem the first time around, because we didn't plan ahead and we didn't have much to put down on both of our cars, which left us with high monthly payments. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Ramsey, but he's the no debt guy. Got a great idea. Don't get a car payment. Don't buy cars with anything except cash. You're doing it wrong. And so people are nutty. How can you be on the Dave Ramsey? I mean, I guess it's possible to get here. You know, you just came here from the planet Pluto, the artist formerly known as Planet Pluto, and got here on Earth, and somehow magically ended up in the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and never heard anything about Dave Ramsey. He's the no debt guy. You're doing it wrong. And when you're all excited about your calculations and saying, you'll be done paying for her car by June of 2026. And so that's both cars by then. But guess what? If you sell them now and get 1 or 2 beaters, very, very cheap cars, then you can get out of debt even faster. Yay, how about that? But people always think they have a better idea. So, and must not be familiar with Dave because, you know, I mean, keeping the car payment is just as bad as taking it out in the first place. So, when you're on step two. Burning towns. How do you handle your snowball money? Okay, and the snowball money, again, that would be the extra you have after each month, after all 100% necessary expenses are taken care of. An exception to that rule would be um, include anything that spouses have agreed upon. So that would be included in there too. Those are, if there are any agreed upon by both spouses expenses, that would be included in there at all. But beyond all of those expenses, if you have money left over, which is the snowball money, then how do you handle it? You throw it at whatever baby step you're on. Let's see, it looks like baby step 2, so you would be putting all that to debt there. What does that mean? Do you have to, okay, let's read it and then we'll know, right? We'll both know. Do you hold on to your money? Baby, hold on to me. Little pitchy dog, your money until the end of the month, or do you pay with each paycheck? You can do it either way, whatever is best for you, where you don't get in trouble. Some people try to do it each paycheck, and then all of a sudden they don't have enough money for something that is due before the next paycheck comes. And so, whether that's them not sticking to the other budget, the grocery budget, for example, or anything else, or they didn't stick to the budget at all because they did some extra spending, or just because they just didn't plan it right because they don't have enough out of one check to pay all the things that are due within that one paycheck period before you get the other check. And so it just depends on how, when your bills are due, and you also do have leniency with that, or some wiggle room rather, not leniency, because like utilities and such, you can call them and ask, even credit cards, even you can call them and ask them to change, if they can change the payment date so that you don't have it mixed in at the same time as all the other ones, if that continues to be a problem. So, but no, the zero-based budget does not mean you have $0 in your checking account at any time, because you do have to at least keep and not spend the amount that you need to pay a bill that is due before the next paycheck arrives. Like for example, your paycheck, this would be unfortunate, but you might not have enough out of one paycheck to completely pay the rent. You might need an extra $100, and so that means you got to have that $100 sitting in the checking account waiting for that next check, and then they both added, and then there's rent paid. Let's see, I picked up a second job. Fabulous. Specifically meant to use towards the snowball. Excellent. And I figure I could move all that into a separate account meant for that use. You can, if that helps you keep it separate and not use it for anything else other than the snowball. Let's see, I suppose because you need a budget, YNAB. I could make its own category to hold it. Yeah, you can. There's plenty of ways that you can do that as well, on paper, on a spreadsheet, every dollar app, or even this YNAB, you need a budget app. You just, I'm fine with this, people. If it just depends on what works for them. If putting your money in 3 or 4 different banks seems like a waste of time to me, but if that will help you stick to the budget and not spend money that's earmarked for something else, then knock yourself out. Do that. And hopefully they're free checking accounts as well, so you're not paying, like you have 4 different accounts, 4 different banks, and then each of them charge you for that. So definitely look into their free checking option if they have one. Enigma, gotcha. Figured it out. Figured it out. It's a 1 there instead of the I. I figured it out finally. It was throwing me for a loop there for a second. Enigma Ox. Oh, always forget about my lovely chatters. Pew, 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 boom, boom. Since this random urge to Google how much to invest to have money to buy a kid a car when they turn 16 with an 8% return, starting when they are born. It's $26 a month, okay? Oh, I see. You had it. I thought you said you were getting the random urge to do it, but you had already done $26 a month. Yeah, that's not that much. And depending on the parents, you're probably wasting that money on something else that is less noble. They're doing a dead snowball, so that is good. They may have too much money in cars, but their plan is not terrible. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do that, but I mean, he didn't give like specific numbers on that, just what he calculated as the payoff dates. But I always like people to try to do it better than they think they can do it, especially if they're trying to buy something like a new car. He didn't say a new to him car, he said a new car as well. So for 15K, it's $40. Doing the math, the hard math work. As I said, I did that for future heirs. Started putting $50 a quote unquote year into investments for them. It was an insane amount of money for great grandchildren. Sure. I like that, the year in quotes there. That's what I would do. Ever since I got the Beatus, I've been saying, I've been talking about, especially around like younger people, like I work with at Menards. I would say, oh yeah, that's right. You young people and your circulation, like it's a myth, like it doesn't actually exist. Fun times. So made a larger programmed payment. Then did an extra payment as I closed out each month. My snowball money was $750. I programmed 500 payments. My smallest debt, and would put the extra $250 at the end of the month. And so, yeah. So if it's Sid that's doing the budget and handling the finances, you just let her go and do whatever she wants to. She knows what's up. Yeah, you do not want to have an accidental overdraft. That too, as well. Yes. And so that, Aslan said, the banks make plenty of money without extra donations, and that much is certain. And you know, I mean, I worked at a bank. I heard him give all the excuses. I heard him say, you know, why did nobody told me that there would be a fee for that. You know, and I'm like, you would have to sign for it when you got your checking account, sir or madam. They make you sign it. So, because they know you're going to have a problem with it. Because they know you didn't read the crap. So, that's why they make you sign for it, that you did read it. Sid, talk about financial audit. Caleb did today. The guest paid tips to her payday loan servicers. Awesome. She seemed a bit nutty to me. 800% interest was not enough. They need a tip. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know, got the holidays coming up, Aslan. Come on. I think that is the effective rate for payday loans. Lowest citizen is 500%. Nice. All right, back here with Enigma on. Or is that Onyx? Is it Onyx or Onyx? It's like a color or gemstone or something, or both, isn't it? Ladies. I mean, I guess men could know that too, but not this man. or at least not confident about knowing it. What's next? Well, the baby step that you just finished. The next number after that would be the one that you go to. Couldn't resist. Good day, y'all. Good day. No, I don't know what I'm doing that. So Dr. Evil is not Australian. I've had some decent success with Dave's advice and budgeting. Why not more? Let's see. I went from 6 to 7K in debt to debt free in 2 years. Okay, 2 years, that seems long for just 7K, but maybe doesn't make that much money and lives in a high cost of living area, which I understand is a small number comparatively. Okay, current sitch is dual income household, non-married, non-Dave sanctioned, then non-Steve sanctioned as well. Renting, 3,700 in income, monthly 3,500 in expenses. Beep beep boo doo. So you got to move down in housing and rent somewhere cheaper. Sorry. 3,500 in expenses, including retirement budget. 7,000 in savings, sitting in the bank. 1,200 in emergency fund. So again, people are nutty. It doesn't say. Where does it say on here? Save 7,000 extra, other than your full emergency fund. I keep looking for it every single stream where somebody has a bunch of savings, and 7,000 is not anywhere near 50,000 plus brokerage money that the other person had, but that's still, it does not say to do that here. You know what it says to do after you save your 36 months of expenses in your fully funded emergency fund? What does it say? Yes, it says to do steps 4, 5, and 6. It doesn't say to save extra. You're doing it wrong. Seeing about growing 1,200 emergency fund, growing steady. You would move some of that 7K or all of it to your emergency fund to finish it rather than have it sitting in savings. You're doing it wrong. There's only about 200 that is freed up at the end of expenses, and that means you got probably more than just a house. That's the problem. So, yeah, you gotta not rent that expensive of a place. Sorry, you're limited by your income, and that's not enough income to get steps even 4 and 5 done, much less to buy a house one day, maybe. Which usually then tossed into savings, and that's what, none of that should happen. Everything you're doing here is bad. Getting out of the debt, that was that was good. Doing your emergency fund, trying to fill it, that's good too, but you're doing it wrong. You should already have it. The 7,000 shouldn't be separate. Why is that separate? There's only about, let's see, I did that already. Maybe one day we'll have enough for a house eventually. You do not save for a house until you can do that. So if that's your plan to have a down payment, now that I'll give you a little break on that, because that is not here. Baby step 3B is save the down payment, but that comes after baby step 3. And guess what? Baby steps 1, 2, and 3 are what? Anyone? Bueller? You do them one at a time without doing higher steps. So you do not do anything except the emergency fund while you are saving them for the emergency fund. While you're still in step 3, you're not investing. No, which the Ramsey Show mod did not change that I'm aware of. I didn't check it again after I suggested it, but did not change the name of the show. Did no, because Dave said that about 500 times during one call. And I even said, oh, you know what I should have done? I should have put the date in my stream title and put NO in capital letters, and then Vember in lowercase. That's what I should have done. That would have been fun. Oh well. Always think of the good stuff later. Where are we? We got more. Let's see what other kind of stuff you doing wrong. Non-married is bad. Yep. So go get married. Oh, question one of people. What's next? I'm feeling aimless and defeated, and feel my goal of a house is very far off. Yeah, because you're doing it wrong. You're trying to do too many things all at the same time. You're trying to do step 3 and step 4, investing, and then you're also trying to save for the down payment, and that's a nay. That's a no on that. You finish step 3 first, which maybe you'll have it after you put the 7,000 with the other amount of the emergency fund that you have. You're trying to do too much all at the same time. I get it, you want a house, but that doesn't mean do the baby steps however you like. Your way is going to make it take longer. It's going to make it all take longer. You're doing it wrong. So, yeah. And, if the rent here that you're paying, if that's indicative of the housing prices there in your area, I feel like for me, since you both together only make $3,500, I'm thinking somebody's underemployed. Also, you may just make like a Midwest salary, but you live in freaking Denver or somewhere crazy, or God forbid on one of the coasts. So you cannot do that. That's not sustainable. You need to either get up your income, or move. Sorry, you don't get a pass on math for that. And you can buy a house this way. Now, once you have your full emergency fund, that's what should be next, and you shouldn't think about anything else. People are nutty. They can't help themselves thinking about, well, let's plan out all the steps. And then they start thinking about it, then they start doing it when they shouldn't be doing it, when they should only be doing step 3 until they have the full emergency fund. So, and putting the 200 every month in there, that's not helping you get to the house faster. Once you fill up the full emergency fund, then at that point, then you can do that. And guess what? That retirement that you're doing already, which you shouldn't be doing while you don't have a full emergency fund, that you can not do that for 2 years while you save up a larger down payment faster. And so you have to do that. And that is how you take care of the situation. That's how you can make it work, having a low income but living in a high income area, high cost of living area. And so you can make it work like that. But you just have to put way more down on the house, and that does take longer. So sorry, you don't get a pass on math for your zip code. So I get it, and because the way you're doing it, you're not seeing anything happen. You're not seeing the emergency fund get done. You're not seeing the investing go as much as you could. Well, I guess if you're doing 15% already, but I'm going to go ahead and say not doing 15% either, which is fine. It should be 0% until you get done with the full emergency fund. And your housing down payment, why'd you just call this savings there? So when darn well that's what it's for. And so you feel like that's not growing fast enough either. So that's why, and this is the reason why a lot of people have problems and it's not going as fast as they thought it was. It's because you're doing it wrong. Where's my boy George when I need him?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
He right. 3 times. I think she's doing at least 3 different things wrong. So it was good to have 3 there. No. I recorded it and I edited it so that it was just him saying it once, and then like, gotta have more. How about 3 times? Alrighty. In my head, cell phone, oh. It's a Cranberry song. In my head, but cell phone debt is the name of the post. I just started my debt snowball and realized that I have payments on phones embedded in my monthly cell phone bill. Yes, and how stupid is that? And people do it all the time without even thinking about it. When you have to realize that instead of just knowing it, you're not paying attention, are you? Not paying good enough attention. Paying attention is half the battle with the finances. I owe $1,887 on 5 phones. I mean, that could be worse. You could probably owe $1,887 on 1 phone. I'm sure that could happen, or at least on 2. Because people love to be buying expensive phones, and then they like financing them this way. And if you say, guess what? If you don't say specifically that you don't want to do that, I bet they do it like this, and then that way they keep you on that thing. I mean, just like, my parents told me I'd always have a car payment, and that's why the dealers want it, so that they constantly get that interest. And so, same thing for the cell phone people. They want to sell you a phone, and then a year or 2 later, they have a hip, fun new commercial and make you want a new phone, and then you trade it in and get crap for the old one, and then you're financing again, and then there's another 1,000 if it's an iPhone, for sure. So 1, don't do iPhones. 2, you get a cheap Android phone off of the Amazon for less than $200, and then you also don't go to the big carriers. You do one of the discount ones, Mint Mobile. Shout out Ryan Reynolds, and Visible. Mint Mobile is on the T-Mobile towers, and Visible is on the Verizon. And T-Mobile now owns Mint Mobile, but the prices didn't change. And I don't know if Verizon owns Visible or not. But I mean, that is so weird that they would charge you more to be billed by Verizon for the service than by Visible, but they're the same company. That is crazy. And same thing with T-Mobile and Mint Mobile. So nutty. 95 per month. If I pay off the phones, I lose my promo savings of $75 per month. Yeah, that's more of the crap that they do to you, so you keep staying in debt and keep paying interest. And you have to be smarter than that. You have to pay attention to that, and you have to realize that before you leave the freaking store with the phone. So you need to be faster with realizations. So I'll only pick $20 per month in cash flow. So I'll only pick 20 per month in cash flow. What does that mean? I'll only pick 20. Does that mean you only have 20 per month in cash flow because of that? It goes from $210 to $190 monthly. I don't know what that. I don't know what. So I'll only pick $20 per month in cash flow. I don't know what that means. Save. You only save 20 per month in cash flow by not doing that. It goes from 210 to 190 monthly. If you pay off the phones. Yeah, and see, this is what they wanted to do to you. 190 is less than 210, and you got to pay off the phones eventually. So why are you gonna stretch it out and keep it around like it's a pet? Dumb. I will pay them off, but I have 2 other debts of $2,000 and $3,500. Hey, that phone debt is cheaper than that. It's less. So, and what's the debt snowball, kids? That's right, smallest to largest. You doing it wrong. Everybody's doing it wrong. Everybody on Reddit is doing it wrong. I'm just going to comment on all of them. You're doing it wrong. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I would copy and paste it, obviously, to make it more efficient. Paying them off would result in almost $526 per month cash flow increase. That's right. You're so dumb. I really wanted to knock them out first. Thoughts? Well, they are your smallest debt. They're your smallest debt, dog. I'm assuming this is on one bill, even. So, that's right. And let me ask you this. Do you need 5 kids? Are there 5 different people with the phones? Do you need 5 phones? So, that would be that as well. Baby step 2, smallest to largest amount. And you said the higher debt's $2,000 and $3,500. Those are higher than 1,887. So everything you're doing here is bad. You're doing it wrong. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Meant to click on that. What's more, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That link is in the description below, also in the video description. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App, $Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, again, to a Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, that is every weekday. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. What up, Ellie? He says, I didn't want a new phone, but if you keep it long enough, apps stop being supported and your phone stops working. True story. Yeah, well, if you have that happening, you've had your phone longer than 2 years, normally.